here with Todd Callis of the West Chase Country Club, the in-game, post-game, and pre-game host for Sun Sports with the Tampa Bay Rays. Say that right?
That's it, yeah.
Right. How long have you been a Paradise Golf member?
I have been with Paradise, man, probably in the 8 to 10 year range, I would guess.
8 to 10 years?
Yeah.
And you do summer and winter?
Yeah, I used to do the whole year. And then some of our obligations now with the Rays don't allow me to play as much in the summer as I would like. So I think I've kind of been a little more sporadic with the summer membership. I think I have had it 2 of the last 4 years or 2 of the last 5, but winter I've been pretty solid for the last 8 to 10.
What do you like most about the card?
It's just cool because I've always thought about joining a club, as I've gotten older, but this card just allows you to basically be a member at so many great courses around the area. And the Tampa Bay area, along with Orlando, Sarasota, and this whole region, has so many great courses that to limit yourself to just one, as nice as it would be to have your own locker and have your own membership somewhere with tee times, I think the card allows you that option to go wherever you want, and that's kind of what appeals to me.
Okay. Do you have a favorite course out of the variety that's offered? Or a few favorites?
Worldwoods would certainly be in the top 3. I really like TPC. I would love to score well there, especially number 11 always seems to get me. But it's a great challenge. It makes you make different shots.
Sure.
I really like TPC. They have events that take you to Innisbrook and take you to Black Diamond, so those would be way up on the list, but I don't think those are regular courses on the Paradise card. My backyard course is West Chase, where we are right now, so I spend more time on this range and this putting green than any other course. So those would be right up there on my list. When I travel away from here, Lake Chivita is outstanding. But yeah, those are the ones that come to mind as some of my favorites.
Well, if this is your backyard course, you must score pretty well here. So, what's your handicap? Gotta ask.
It's rising, unfortunately. Yeah, I had it down into the 11 point something range, and now it's probably close to about, I think I'm 14.7 or 15, right around there.
Still not that bad.
Yeah, it should be better. I should be better.
Do you have like a typical foursome you play with, a group of guys, or are you more like a one-man weekend warrior?
Combination. When we used to play more in the summertime with the Rays, there was a group, including Tom Foley, who you had on this before, that used to play when we traveled. Tom Foley, our director of travel, Chris Westmoreland, and then 1 or 2 other guys would rotate in. But we just don't seem to have the time to play on the road as much as we used to. So that used to be my regular group. And then here, locally, Dave Worth from Channel 10, who's also a Paradise Card member, we used to play a bunch. And our schedules haven't meshed quite as well lately, but I'm sure once the winter hits, we'll tee it up again.
All right. Now, you've been with the Rays since their inaugural season.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, what's it like being a part of something that's brand new on such a large scale for a community?
It's very rewarding to know you've been with something from the very beginning, and now that we're in our 18th year, we have a lot of people that kind of grew up with the organization. For the first few years, it was a new thing, and people were still changing their allegiances from the Yankees or the Red Sox or the Cardinals or the Mets or Phillies, whomever, to the Rays. And I think that still happens. I still think you have your diehard fans that will never break from their childhood or original roots favorite team. But now we have kids that are entering college that all they've known is the Rays. And that's pretty cool to see because as those kids get older and then they have families, now you're finally getting to the point where you can replicate some of the history that's involved with having a team around for a number of years.
All right. You do a lot of post-game interviewing. Do you have a favorite person to interview?
On this year's team, I would say it's probably John Jaso, just because you can ask him anything and he's always going to give you an interesting answer. I call him our Dos Equis player on the team just because he's just got so much going on in his world. He's very good. Chris Archer is an outstanding interview. He's always very thoughtful with his answers. Steven Souza Jr. is usually pretty good. Overall, though, we've had really good interviews throughout the years for the Rays that I've been there. David Price was an unbelievable interview. I think my two favorites all time were probably Johnny Gomes and Will Myers, just because it was always fun. You never knew what they were going to say. And there's a little bit of that with JSO. So that's why, to circle back, I think I would go with JSO in this year's team.
Now, grabbing on the fun, I've noticed a lot of the times the Rays like to douse the interviewer with Gatorade, and you've kind of mastered the art of the Gatorade dodge. Now, how many suits got ruined before you figured out to kind of dodge the Gatorade bath?
It's funny because I think there's actually a website now that's actually listing the amount of times people get crushed with the Gatorade or the water bath, and I have been lucky to be one of the leaders in avoiding it over the years. It's all in the guys that presented. So this year it was this year was Chris Archer and David DeJesus. Last year was a combination of guys, with David Price was involved a lot. The year before that, Escobar was involved a lot. One year, Uni just crushed me, just based on the angle he came in on, and I just talked to him afterwards. I said, hey, here's the deal. I'll hang in there so I don't give it away to the guy you're about to get. Just don't get me. Just make sure you give me a split second to get out of there, or come in at an angle where I can get out of there. So I kind of work it out with the guys if they do crush me. This year, I think they got me once. It was kind of by accident. Now it's kind of a variety of guys that do it, because the Jesus got traded. Archer's still in the mix, but you see different guys trying it out. But to answer your question, I think I've had to dry clean probably a handful of suits over the years, but I've been very lucky to time it out.
Is there anything you'd want prospective Paradise members to know about the card?
I just think Greg Gagliardi does such a wonderful job with the whole program, and it was a really good card before he took control. And I've known Greg back in his days with different courses in the area, but when he took it over, the value added to the card, it's hard to pass up, in my opinion. And what I said earlier about thinking about joining a club someday, and I still might, is that even if you are at a club, the affordability and what it brings you to have this card, it's not a bad double dip. Like I could see being a member of a club and still being a Paradise card holder, just because of what Greg has done. Some of the tournaments he puts on, some of the, like I said earlier, some of the courses you get on are courses you're not going to get on anywhere else. Black Diamond's offered, Innisbrook is offered. You've got all the different courses that are normally on the card. So that, and your demo days, and your discounts, and free golf if you sign up a certain time. It's if you're serious about golf, and I wish I played more than I do, it's definitely the card to have.
All right. Thanks for your time. And
no problem.
Straight.
I hope so. I hope I get that down from a 15.
All right. Thank you.